Hello guys, Roman here, and today we will create Orks and Ultramarines symbols in 3D, and then we'll create a card boxes for the Heroes of Blackreach game with these insignias on them. Let's start with general file. As usual, we'll remove this collection. Okay, and we will start with the Ork insignia. We will use a reference image. I found one on the internet. Let's add it. Shift A for add, image, reference. And here is my reference image. Let's position it. We'll go with 0, 0, 0. Okay. And now click on this Z-axis icon here to go to the Z-axis view. It allows us to play with object without changing the Z coordinate for them. Let's add a plane. Shift A, mesh plane. Okay. Go to edit mode, pressing tab. And now we can play with these vertices, changing only X and Y coordinates for them. You can use the move tool, and you can use the G button for grab and move, like that. G, let's put it here, and this one goes here. I will not make all the small details here. And now, as you can see, we need more vertices to play with. So go to the edge mode editing, select this edge, right click and subdivide. Here you can see an options for our subdivide, and this is the number of subdivisions. So basically it's a number of vertices that would be added to this edge. Let's go with 6, I think. Let's go to vertex mode again. Actually, you can faster switch between these modes, pressing 1 for vertices, 2 for edges, and 3 for faces. Let's go with vertices, and as you can see, we have 6 more vertices. Let's move them around. And now, as you can see, it's a little bit much vertices, so we want to delete them, but we have 2 ways to delete something in Blender. We can dissolve it or delete it. When we are deleting something, we will also delete the parts of the mesh that are linked to this object. So if I will press X and delete the vertex, I will also delete the face connected to this vertex and the edge. So we don't want that. Command or Control Z to undo this, and then X and dissolve vertices. Now it's perfect. Let's do the same for this. XD, and we have the top shape here. Move a little bit here and here. Let's subdivide this edge. Also, I will go with 6 here. And let's move around these vertices. Okay, now we have our skull ready. Let's exit edit mode. And we will do the same for this jaw. Shift A to add mesh plane. Go to edit mode, and we will play around with these vertices. Also, we will split in the edges if we need to, and we will add vertices, and let's replicate this shape. Okay, now we have our jaw. Let's exit, edit mode. Let's hide this skull for now. Press H or click this eye icon here. And let's add a circle, mesh circle. Let's move it, G to move. Press S to scale it, S, and move the mouse around to scale it. Something like that. Go to edit mode, press F to add face, because when we are adding circle, it's only the shape. We will need this face. Exit edit mode. Let's add this eye and this nose. Shift A, mesh plane. Scale it down. Something like that. G. Tap into the edit mode and play with vertices. And now I will show you how to merge these two vertices together. Press M to merge and select collapse or press O. And we have two vertices merged together. Let's move it around, press stop, and we have our nose. Let's show our skull, okay, and let's join all these objects together. Let's select all this here and add a circle. Make sure that the skull is the last object selected. It should be yellow. Click it again. You can see that all objects are orange outlined, and this one yellow. It means that it's an active object in the selection, and all others would be joined to this. Press Ctrl or Command G. You cannot see our nose and eyes. It's okay. Press Tab. Everything in place. Okay. Unselect all. Exit. Edit mode. And now we will add a modifier. Generate wireframe. Okay. Modifiers in Blender is the way to undestructively modify the geometry of some objects. We can see now that we have bad geometry here. Let's fix it quickly. So when we add in a modifier, visually we will have the effect of this modifier applied to the object, but we also will have an access to original geometry. So what this wireframe do? Let's go with 1. It's too big. 0.05. It basically replaces our edges with some profile. Let's click boundary, and as you can see, it's some kind of rhomboid profile with the faces perfectly 45 degrees to our horizon, which is perfect for FDM printing without supports. So we have some kind of a stencil now that could be cut from the flat surface, and we will have some kind of engravement on this flat surface with this sign. I will show it a little bit later. Let's remove our reference image. As you can see, this modifier allows to play with thickness of this shape. We can make it uneven, so it will be slightly wider in more bigger parts, but let's go with even. We have then even width everywhere. Okay, so we have our orc sign. Let's rename it. Orc sign. And now we will save our project. and let's call it symbols. Save. Let's hide it for now. And now we will go with Ultramarine sign. I will show you how it looks. It's something like that. Here we have some cuboid shape, a circle goes inside, and a small circle here. So we, as a 3D artist, can split the shape into the primitive ones. So we have a circle here, a circle here. This is basically a cube. And this is a cube widened on the y-axis. We will model the sign exactly that way. I will remove all of this. Select another tool, not to see this pencil. So let's add a cylinder. Okay. It has 32 vertices. I think we can go with 64. And we have our cylinder here. Let's say it would be an inner cylinder. Let's add another one. Shift-A mesh cylinder. Okay, let's play with sizes. 2. And let's go 1. Okay. Our bigger cylinder. Let's move it around. You can hold your left mouse button on any input here and then move your mouse to smoothly change the numbers. Let's go with 0.1 here. Oh, it's original. Let's go with minus 0.5. Okay. Let's add a cube. Position it 1 millimeter. 0.6, and let's widen it up. Something like 3.6. Okay, and let's position it 1.5. 1.6. Now it's perfect. And we will add another cube that we will cut out from our main mesh. Shift-A. Actually, we will make it wider, and here we will make it thinner. Let's position it. And now, let's check it out. Let's go with 1.5 here. Okay. And now we need to join these objects together and cut these two objects from them. Let's do it using the BoolTools. It's a free Blender add-on. Go to Edit Preferences, click here Add-ons, and search here for Bool. As you can see, it's activated for me. Click the checkbox to activate it. Go to the shortcuts here, and I will use Ctrl-Shift-B shortcut to use a menu. I don't have a numpad keyboard, but you can use any shortcuts from here. I will use only menu. Now what I will do, I will click these two objects. As you can see, yellow one is active, and we will cut or merge another objects in the selection to this one. I'm pressing Ctrl-Shift-B, and I will select Union here. And now we have these objects unioned. And I'm clicking this, and this one last. And I will cut these two objects from this one, Ctrl-Shift-B, and difference. This calls destructive modeling because I'm actually changing the geometry here. We could go with undestructive modeling, but in this case we don't need it. Let's go into the edit mode. Let's check. Oh, we have some mess here. Let's get rid of this mess. We'll select this, all of this, and dissolve. We don't need this also. Click here, X and I to dissolve the edge. Here and here, XI, and we will dissolve this. Okay. I'm not editing this face because we don't need it. Let's go to the Y-axis mode. Press Shift-Z to enter the transparent mode. Vertices view, select these vertices. In transparent mode, when we selecting something, we not only selecting the objects that are closest to us, but also the ones that are not visible. Usually not visible for us, but in transparent mode they are visible and we can select them. And I will press X and D to delete these verticals. Then I will press A to select all here and place this object to 0. Okay. I will also merge these two. Merge at last. So I'll move this vertex to here, and I'll do the same for this piece. Okay, let's exit it and add our wireframe modifier boundary, and let's go with point 0.5. Let's check it out. Shift Z to exit the transparent mode, and we can see we have our engraving shape ready. Let's call it Ultra Sign. Okay. And let's go with the card box itself. Oh, actually, let's save. So I will create a card box open from by its side. Something like this. You can see it on the picture. To do so, you need to know the size of the card and the thickness of your deck. I already have these numbers, so let's start. I will add a cube. I will place it at 1, 1, 1 coordinate. So now this corner is in the beginning of the coordinates, and I will set origin to 3D cursor. It will be useful in later modeling. And let's resize our cube to the size of our deck. It would be 60 on X, 90 on Y, and let's go with 28 on Z. Okay, let's apply our scale, and I will add +1. You can bring your mathematical formulas here. It's very useful. I will add some extra space, and I will not add a space here because it would be open from this side. And actually I will make this box from 2 pieces that would be glued together, because the face part, I don't want it to be printed on the top. I wanted to print it upside down, because the first layer of our print would be very smooth from the bottom. So we have our inside. Now we need to add our floor width here, plus 1.6. I'm going with that thickness to the floor. I will add the double wall width to here, plus 1.6, plus 1.6, because we would have 2 walls here, and I will add a single wall width here, plus 1.6, and we have our box. Let's apply the scale, and let's create a cutter that we will cut from this box to make a space inside. Let's Shift D. Let's put it 1.6, 1.6. We're just stepping our floor and walls width and subtract it from here, minus 3.2. And here I can leave it as is because it would not be enclosed here. And I will show you non-destructive way. I will add a boolean here. Select this object for difference. You can see difference. It's the same thing that we made with our BoolTools, but we went destructively and now we have original objects. It's non-destructive way of editing. I will hide it. You can see. All good. What also we will need some kind of gap here to grab our cards out. Let's do it. Let's duplicate this one. Shift D. Let's go with 2020. And on Z, something like 4, not so much. Let's position it here. And on Z, -1, we will cut only floor. To center it, we will take the width of our box. And here we will add -20 with the width of this detail, and we will divide it by 2. Here we go. Let's position it better. Let's go with 80 here. Okay. And we will add another boolean for this gap. Let's hide these two cutters. Oh, and we have a gap. But what if we need to round these edges? It's not very pretty. Let's show it. And let us add the Bevel Modifier here. And as you can see, nothing's happened. It's because we have our transformations not applied. So let's apply our scale. And now you can see the bevel here. Okay. But we don't need to bevel all the edges. And only these two. To do so, let's go into the edit mode. Edge mode, select the edges we want to be deformed by the Bevel Modifier. And add this min bevel weight here, 1. It's a maximum value. And here, limit method set to weight. And now our bevel works perfectly. Let's go with 8 here. Not so beautiful, but we can actually add the number of segments to 16. And we have rounded up bevel. Let's go with 9. Okay. Exit edit mode. Exit exclusive view. Actually, I used this slash button. This is exclusive view mode. It shows only the active mesh. And you could switch this mode and we'll hide it. And now we have our box. Cool. Let's save our project. And now what I want to do, I want to add some small gap here to allow our pieces of the card box to be glued perfectly together. I will show you what I mean later. Now I will duplicate this, Shift D, move it by Z-axis, press Z to lock on that axis to move. Something like here. We have the height of our object. I will step down. I will put this height here and step the height of the gap I want. Something like here. Let's go -1 here, -1 here. We will make it wider than original, 66. Here also. Let's go with 94. Okay. Now I can cut. Let's go with 4 here. Now I can cut this one from here. Let's add Boolean. Okay. And I will show you the trick. If we want to cut some piece of the cutter, we will cut the cutter itself. Let's go Shift D. Go to 0.8, 0.8. It's a width of our gap walls. Let's take this width here and put it here, -1.6, double width of the gap. Okay. And put it slightly lower, 27. And make it slightly higher, so it could be perfectly cut from this one. And add modifier here, Boolean, and this. Let's hide all of this and the gap I wanted. Okay. Now let's organize our stuff a little bit. So let's add a collection. Let's call it card box. Let's put all of our stuff except signs here. Let's add another folder here and call it CB. It's for card box gaps. Select all this and put it inside. Call it card box. And now we can switch all our gaps visibility by clicking just one checkbox here. Very nice. Let's save our project. And now let's create the topper piece. I will just duplicate this. Duplicate collection. I will hide the original. We don't need this. XD, XD. And this piece would be only 3 millimeters high. And this would be 3.2. Okay. We don't need such a wide wall. We need only the gap width. Let's go with 0.8 here, 0.8 here. Okay, and let's add it plus double size 1.6 plus. We don't actually need to modify this because it's open on this side. And we have our topper. Let's remove. Actually, we can reuse this boolean for our sign. And I will add a small tolerance. Let's move it like -0.1, -0.1, 0.7, 0.7, and I will add 0.1 here for the tolerance, and I will add 0.2 here for the tolerance. Okay. We kept this piece in position. And now let's cut our sign from this topper. Select the topper, go to the edit mode, 3 to face mode, select this face, Shift and S to snap, and cursor to select it. Now we have a cursor positioned perfectly to the geometry of this face. Exit edit mode, select orc sign. Where is it? Oh, it's too small. That's okay, let's scale it. Select all, apply scales, Shift A, scale. Okay, now it's too thin. Let's go with 0.1 here. Let's go with 1 millimeter, actually. That's very cool. We have some small overlap here. Let's fix it quickly. Much better. No overlaps now. Shift S. Oh, sorry. I didn't show you. Shift S and selection to cursor. And now we have our orc sign positioned to our topper. Let's hide these gaps. We can drag it down a little bit. Okay. And we will reuse this boolean. Select this sign here. Let's put the sign to the gaps. And as you can see, it is cut out from our topper face. And this 45° of our rhomboid shape of this cutter would allow to perfectly print it without any supports. And we have our first topper. Let's call it Carbox Topper Orc. And call it CBTO gaps. Let's save it. And let's do the same for the Ultramarine sign. Duplicate this collection. Rename it already. Ultra CBTO gaps. We will remove this sign from here. And we will add our ultra sign. Let's show it. It's too small. Let's scale it up. Shift S. Selection to cursor. It's too big. Let's scale it down. Actually, let's make it wider. Let's apply our scale. Go to the one here. Position it something like here. And let's make it a little bit wider on x-axis. This is nice Ultramarines symbol. Let's put it here and check. And it's perfect again. I will show all, select all, and apply the scale for all, just to be sure that we don't have any distortion in our modifiers, because if we have something unapplied in this scale, this will also affect our modifiers. I will show you. Let's scale it down. And as you can see, we have this small scale and still it says 1 meter. Let's apply our scale. And as you can see, we have now actually 1 millimeter width for our shape, but now we have some errors because it's too small and we cannot calculate the cut. Control Z, Control Z. And now we're ready to export our parts and print them out. First, I will hide this. We will export our card box. Export STL. We call it card box. Selection only. And be sure that the checkbox apply modifiers is checked. Export. OK. Export this topper. File export STL card box topper ork. All checkboxes are selected as in the previous export. Hide this, select this, and export this. Topper Ultra. Export STL. Let's save the project and check our STL files. Looking good. Same. And box the same. Let's print it out. I'm going with Cura. Add our box and the topper. OK. Let's move it a little bit. Here it's -33. Slice. Let's preview. Looking good. I have a 0.8 nozzle, but still it is looking very good. We will check out the print. Save to disk. Card box ork. Save. Let's go to the prepare step and replace this one with Ultra. -33. Slice it. Let's preview. And all looking very good. Save to disk. Card box Ultra. And now let's go printing. So these are the printed boxes. I glued the ork box together and put the deck in it. You can see the quality of our sign printing. And this is Ultramarines box. It is not glued together. You can see these details would be glued together perfectly with this cap. And you can have even better results with 0.4 mm nozzle. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. As usual, you can find all the files, the project, the STL, the reference image on my Patreon, so check it out and see you again. Bye.